Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is Israel is a sign. You want to know the future? You want to know what's coming? It all starts, of course, with the Bible. Then we turn around and look at Israel, and we see what's happening with Israel. Then we start listening to the prophecies, what's going on in America. First of all, let's talk about the prophecies. Let me give you a suggestion. I know that there is a side of us that wants to say, oh, I'll be glad when these are proven to be accurate. I'll be glad when some of this stuff you've been talking about, I'll be glad some of the stuff I've been hearing about starts coming to pass. Actually, I don't think that's the right attitude. We don't want these prophecies to come to pass. They're going to come to pass soon enough. We don't want them to come to pass, and we certainly do not want to pray that they come to pass. I have to tell you, I've gotten sick and tired of some of the things going wrong in this nation too, and one night in my prayer closet, I started to pray, Lord, bring this earthquake on America. Man, immediately. Boy, when God wants to talk, he can talk. If you haven't discovered that, then it's coming. And boy, immediately I got rebuked. Absolutely not. You do not pray any of these things come to pass. Thing is, if we pray they will not come to pass, they're still going to come to pass in most cases. That's not exactly true. We do need to try to pray away as many as possible. Ideally, to pray all of it away. And that's the reason we started Fast Track. That's praying for Prophecy Club and our staff. And also we started Fast Gap. And there's about 1,500 people on Fast Track and about 850 people on Fast Gap praying for America. Here's how you sign up to either one or both. You can quit anytime you want to. We never send product offers or appeals for donations. prophecyclub.com, you just slide to the bottom, sign up, quit anytime you want to, okay? But if you want to join other brothers and sisters that are praying to help Prophecy Club to do the things that God has called us to do, and also praying blessings, to pray that these bad things don't come to our nation, Fast Gap, Fast Track for Prophecy Club, Fast Gap for America. Okay, we're talking about Israel today. Comes from Hal Turner. On August 15th, reports surfaced that Israel made an actual nuclear threat to Iran and that Iran responded harshly. August 19th says that Iran's harsh response was nuclear. They're saying via back channels, the United States told Iran that Israel would respond to an Iranian retaliation over the assassination by Israel of Ismail Haniyeh, however you say that. Israel's response to the U.S. would be tactical nuclear weapons. In other words, Israel has now admitted to Iran, yes, we have nukes, and Iran has admitted back, yes, we have nukes too. Now, the next thing is very confirming to me, scary. Israel also disclosed that they have procured undisclosed scalar weapons. Now, you remember scalar weapons, okay? We've got a whole DVD up on watchprophecyclub.com called Russia's Secret Weapon to Defeat America. If you want to watch it, by Russia's Secret Weapon to Defeat America. Oh, good grief. You can tell I'm getting old. Some of these things don't come to my mind as fast as they used to. Anyway, scalar wave was invented by Tesla. He took it to the United States. They tried it out on HAARP, H-A-A-R-P, and they couldn't make it work. But the Russians didn't have that problem. And then, of course, now many nations have it, including the Molochs. And this is what can make entire regions of the atmosphere very, very hot, very cold. It can take out anything in the air, on the land, on the sea, under the sea, any place on the globe, but perhaps even any place in the galaxy with little to no notice. Khrushchev called it the perfect weapon because you can't tell what did it, where it came from, who did it, and you can destroy things. Okay, so they procured undisclosed scalar weapons, and Israel, Iran says, will cease to exist if Israel attacks Iran. Iran went on to tell the United States that Israel will cease to exist if Israel attacks Iran. Well, let me just tell you, that ain't going to happen. I mean, Iran may attack Israel, but Israel's not going to cease to exist. I'll show you. Iran went on further and says it told the United States that the U.S. military is also in jeopardy, as is the United States itself. So Iran apparently is not bluffing, and they now think that they can destroy Israel. And they might be able to do some damage or maybe even participate in destroying America. But it ain't going to happen to Israel. I'll show you. The article goes on to say nearly a third of the entire U.S. Navy is now deployed to the Middle East. And Israel-Iran fight is coming, they say. All right, now let's get into more of what he says here. First of all, he's about to say he's a marginal Christian. Matter of fact, he says at the bottom of this article, I cut it out, didn't have the room, he says he's no part of an organized religion, unquote. He also goes on to say why the U.S. feels the need to defend Israel for murdering a man in cold blood in Iran's capital city is anyone's guess. In other words, he's not supporting Israel. Sad for him. Yet, for some reason, the U.S. is doing exactly that. Israel hit Iran. Israel murdered a man in a building just 750 meters from Iran's presidential palace. It was cold-blooded, premeditated murder. Under the United Nations Charter, Article 51, Iran has the absolute right to hit Israel back. So why is the U.S. involving itself? Okay, well, hang on. 1,200 people killed on October the 7th. 250 hostages taken. Okay, I think that Israel was attacked first on this deal, and rest assured the people behind it, both the money and the motivation, is still coming from Iran. Well, that's simple. Campaign contributions, I don't agree with all that. Now, let me remind you. See, my purpose is not to just bring you the news. My objective here is to bring you the news in light of Bible prophecy and in light of what the modern prophecies and prophets are saying. So Chris Reed, as you recall, said, so goes Israel, so goes America. In other words, America, you want to be blessed? You better be blessing Israel. Israel will never lose another battle. Genesis 48:3. Let's jump down to 4. He gave this land. See, some people are saying, oh, well, Israel is a people, it's not a land. Oh, no, it's a people and it's a land. God gave this land to end seed after thee for an everlasting possession. So the land that God gave to Israel is theirs forever and ever. And his covenant is with them forever and ever. I will bless them that bless you and curse them to curse you. In other words, we never, ever turn against Israel. Yeah, well, they do bad things. Well, so do we do bad things. But we don't turn against Israel, ever. We always support Israel. Genesis 15:18, unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt, that would be the Nile, unto the great river, the river of Euphrates. So I did up this little map. This is the land, according to the scriptures, that God gave to Israel. And I personally believe that there's about to be a war. I don't think it's imminent. I don't think this is it, but maybe it is. And Israel is going to pull out some kind of a secret weapon. Who knows? It may be angels. I don't know. But anyway, some kind of a secret weapon, and they're going to destroy all of the surrounding nations around them. Okay. Zechariah says, all that burden themselves with Israel will be cut in pieces. That's talking about Armageddon. Joel 3:2 says, I will gather all nations to the valley of Jehoshaphat, they means judgment, and including all the nations that parted my land. And he's going to destroy them. Now let's talk about the future in light of Israel. Okay, first of all, 4 things. I covered this yesterday. I think the prophecies are saying that 400,000 massive arrests are soon to take place. I don't know when, but my guess is soon. And it's part of putting Trump back in charge. He may not come back as a president, but as a king. It'll also be associated with the new financial system, things like you see there. And it won't calm down until about July 2025, says Chris Reed. I do not believe it is the internal revolution, and here's why. My wife was given these prophecies here back in 2006. One of them says, Israel has attacked, America sends troops. Now, we don't know the order. What you see is what I think the order will be in, but we don't know the order. So it could be that Israel might be about to attack Excuse me. It might be that Iran is about to attack Israel, and maybe this is point number 5. And if you'll look at these, we don't see any of those have come to pass yet. That's why I say it's not the internal revolution. If you look at what Chris Reed was told, he did see Israeli-Palestinian two-state solution reached, but if these are in order, and we think they are, then that means we're going to sit until we see 30% devaluation, Middle East oil strikes deal with China, which did happen June the 9th of this year. Riots, civil unrest, citizens demand entitlement. We haven't seen that. So this is yet down the road. We watched real close to see if it was happened this year, but it didn't happen this year. Now let's jump to a brief reminder of the dream that Chris Reed had, and I think this is credible stuff. He says, all of this rebirth of America, the new name is called Republic of the United States, no longer called the United States of America, Republic of the United States. He said all of this starts in the April-May area. Well, what happened then? That was when Trump was standing trial in New York under this Judge Marchand. He said there's going to be a series event. It'll be before the elections of 24, causes chaos, affects elections, causes grace division during the elections. It'll be like an October surprise. I don't know that that's necessarily saying it's coming in October. What he's saying is there won't be any warning. And there's going to be a huge awakening and awareness of evil and corruption going on in America. In my opinion, that's the massive arrests. We can never let this happen again, everyone will say. In other words, they see all of the corruption. It's all been exposed, in my opinion. And all of this bad stuff ended around July 2025. Now let's jump to the next topic of Israel. Comes from Most Important News, my friend Michael Snyder. Silver trumpets were blown on the Temple Mount. That's the first part we want to talk about. Then I'm going to get to some shocking information about the Shroud of Turin. I'm going to show you what really happened. So on Tisha B'Av, silver trumpets were blown on the Temple Mount for the very first time in almost 2,000 years, just like they are about to sacrifice a red heifer. Matter of fact, this is the first time a red heifer has even showed up in 2,000 years, much less that they're about to sacrifice it. They say they're going to do it this year. They've been saying that all year long, though, but we'll see. It'll happen in God's timing. There was a highly significant moment for the Jewish people all over the globe. These silver trumpets were designed to be copies of those used in Solomon's temple. Also on Tisha B'Av, a magnitude 5.4 earthquake greatly shook areas of Syria and Lebanon. Why? It's been suggested that this may have prevented a large attack on Israel that was planned for Tisha B'Av. The following comes from Jerusalem Post. In our collective memory, the Tisha B'Av has always been a solemn day, marked by the destruction of the first and second temples. This year, however, the day bore witness to what many of us view as a modern-day miracle. Okay, now, hang on. What that may be telling us, it may be that God's curses against Israel for all of the sins that they've done may have already been lifted or are about to be lifted because he's now about to start bringing the promises he gave to bless Israel. It goes on to say, as a modern-day miracle, a testament to divine intervention that could not have come at a more crucial time. Reports confirmed a 5.4 magnitude earthquake that struck Syria and Lebanon, profoundly impacting the region. This was not just any seismic event, though. It may have served as an unanticipated yet divine act that thwarted a grave threat against the Jewish nation. Hezbollah, an established proxy of Iran, had been preparing to launch an attack on Israel on Tisha B'Av, a direct affront planned deliberately for Tisha B'Av. Many of the group's underground tunnels, teeming with armaments, may have been reduced to rubble by the act of God to protect his children, which could effectively halt Hezbollah's nefarious plan before it could materialize. So maybe there's not about to be Iran attacking Israel. Let's go on, though. It's hard to perceive as a mere coincidence that the earth shook on the very day Hezbollah had intended to send Israel into mourning once more. With tunnels collapsing, their arsenals buried, What could have been more devastating assault turned into a day of bewildering relief and gratitude? Now, let me get to one of the more favorite things I'm going to do. I'm about to answer this big question. Is the Shroud of Turin Jesus? What was it put on? Here's what they believe. Some people believe that when Jesus was laid down, this Shroud of Turin, in other words, it's like a sheet that goes on top of him and all around him, okay? It's like a one continuous sheet, and they lay this on top of the body. And of course, when Jesus resurrected himself, the rumor is that it caused an image to be left on the cloth that was laying over him. That's what they claim. Is that true? I'm going to show you the truth. A team of scientists examined it using a wide-angle X-ray scattering to determine when the cloth was originally manufactured. The technique measures the natural aging of flax cellulose and converts it to time since manufacture. They were able to determine that the cloth was consistent with another linen sample that was from the land of Israel in the 1st century. The data profiles were fully compatible with analogous measurements obtained on a linen sample whose dating, according to historical records, is in the 55-74 AD area found in Masada. Okay. In other words, this study strengthens the argument that the cloth on which the image appears is about 2,000 years old. Okay. My question is, so if they could prove that the cloth is exactly the right date and is made like all the other cloth in the days of Jesus was made, does that prove that that was on Jesus when he brought himself back from the dead? And did it leave an image on this cloth? I'm going to go ahead and tell you right up front, no, it's a fraud. I'll show you why. And I'll have to tell you that I didn't see it. Ron Wyatt showed this to me. So anyway, this is a picture of the shroud. Now, the first thing I want you to look at is off to your right, the area in the brown. See where you see the red arrow? It's only 0 inches between the crown of the head here and the back of the head here. Now, I actually got a measuring tape a few minutes ago, and I measured from here to here on me, and it's 8.5 inches. So if this surrounds the body all the way around, the area there in the brown area on your right should be 8.5 inches, but it's 0. So how do you get 0 inches from here to here? Obviously, it was laid flat, and somehow it was fraud. So if you look at the other image, the one in the center, it should be 8.5 inches here, but it's only 0. If you look at the image on your far left, same thing. Now let's look at another version. Now this is a drawing, the one on the top, and the drawing here has separated the head a little bit more. And then if you look at the bottom image, it should be 8.5 inches, but even on the drawn image, it shows it only 1.5 inches or 2 inches. So let's take that. Let's say it's even 3 inches. Who would have 3-inch measurement between this part and this part, between the crown and the start of the hairline here? Who would have 3 inches there? Well, the real Shroud of Turin, if you back up and look at it, over on your right, has no room, not even 1 inch. It's 0. So, as you look at this image on the left, is that correct? No. In the image in the center, that's the way the Shroud of Turin is. That's a no. How about if we really put 8.5 inches? Well, it would be something like that. In other words, it should be that there should be the top of the head image on there as well. And there is no top of the head image. So if you look up, burial shrouds are just that. It's a shroud. It's like an envelope, okay? And it's supposed to cover the body all the way around. It's not just laid on the top and then not just laid on the bottom. It's totally covering the body. And it just didn't do that. It's just not true. So this is probably the way it was created. Probably it was laid on some kind of a board or something like that, and then the image was formed in the shroud. But the point is, it's not Jesus, it's not a human, It's not even real. It's a fraud. Now, in closing, let me just say thank you for your help. I asked for some help a couple of days ago. Thank you for those that have helped. However, we're still not past the summer slump, still not out of the woods here. So if God has blessed you and you can help us, now would be a really, really good time. In 2021, I started making bread. And long story short is I believe God showed me that wheat is God's famine food, just like it was famine food back in the 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine, days of Pharaoh and Joseph. And I believe that that's what God has planned to feed his people. And you get it by going to josephskitchen.com. 3 steps. First, you want to get a machine package. Second, you want to order 6 ingredients and watch some videos, download the recipes to be able to make the bread. josephskitchen.com. Most of your long-time storage food, emergency food, all of that, typically are talking $9,000, $10,000 to feed one person for a year. Joseph Kitchen can show you how to do it for around $1,000 a person, and your kids will actually eat it, and it's actually good for you. Here's some bread that I made. In my case, I lost weight, lowered my blood pressure, gives me more energy. I eat a morning, slice in the morning, slice in the afternoon. Always a slice before I go play racquetball. Go check it out, josephskitchen.com. And right now, Joseph Kitchen has a summer blowout going on. They're offering red wheat at half price. Basically, buy 1 pail, get 1 pail free. Buy 1 pail, get 1 pail free of red wheat. josephkitchen.com. If you don't want to lose your life's savings, if you have an IRA or a 401k, the thing to do is call 800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. These folks are Christians, and they specialize in helping people not lose their life savings in the event of a stock market crash and things like that. Look, most of the 401ks, most of the IRAs are in paper, backed by paper, and as Lindsey Williams says, if it's in paper, it's worth the paper it's written on. You can lose it all. 1-800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. Hey, give them a call. Doesn't hurt, doesn't cost you anything. See if they can give you some good advice. If you're out and about and all of a sudden you need gasoline, you need food, and the credit cards aren't working, they aren't taking dollars, then one of the best things to have is right here. It's a prepper bar. Each one of these is a little bit bigger than a credit card. It'll fit in your purse or your billfold, and it breaks into various pieces. So you could give them part instead of maybe more silver, more gold than you need to. Carry it right in your billfold or your purse. This particular one is 5 bars. You don't necessarily need to carry 5 bars with you, but you call 844-771-1776 or prophecyclubbar.com. prophecyclubbar.com. 844-771-1776. Okay, the very best offer we have ever had of the Prophecy Club is 40 books for a gift of $100. That is How Pre-Trib Won, Tribulation Secrets in Daniel, God's Warnings to America, Miss the Mark, and The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. I'll explain. As I've said many times in 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation. I got 30 revelations, 2 visions, and an audible voice. God showed me a secret door, the word first fruits, which is found in Leviticus and also Revelation, that links the feasts to the prophecies of Revelation. And perhaps for the first time, Revelation can be understood. One prophetic word said, there's a lock. I put over every word in the book of Revelation. I'm going to open it to you. It will turn many books written on the end-time message into obsolete books. That's this book. Secondly, I put together a collection of the very best prophecies from 32 years in Bible prophecy: Dimitri Duduman, Michael Boldale, Leslie Johnson, Henry Groover, Shane Warren, Terry Bennett, Maurice Sklar, Augusto Perez, Doug Metzger, Bree Keaton, and more in God's Warnings to America. Also, how do you talk to people about the mark of the beast, especially if they worship another god? Well, simple way is give them this book. It's a quick read, takes about 3 hours to read it. But if they'll read 2 or 3 pages, they'll probably read the book. And if they read the book, they will never take the mark of the beast. It explains both the mark of the beast and also the number of the name, and it has these pictures in the book. Finally, how pre-trib won. This book explains the truth about the rapture. It gives 4 foundations for the real truth about the rapture. It also answers 25 pre-trib questions, 1 for $20, each one of these typically, but don't do that. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets. The very best deal is go to prophecyclub.com and get the entire 40-book set for $100. I didn't cover every verse in the book of Daniel, didn't need to. I just covered the verses that has to do with us end-time saints. And it's called Tribulation Secrets and Daniel, 1 for $20, 10 for $30, 20 for $50 at prophecyclub.com.